Welcome to Muni Misfits in the Morning. My name is Chris Larson, head golf professional at Osgood Golf Course. Is this working? Is this working right now? Are we on? Okay. Production staff says go. All right. Awesome. Coming to you live here from social media land. To my far left.
How you doing, Chris?
I don't know. How are you doing, Matt? I got Matt Cook, head golf professional at Rose Creek and Praywood. And then to my far right is GMAC in the shot. Oh, you're going handheld back there. Wow.
This is almost like we're in COVID protocol.
I know. Social distancing.
6 feet.
So this is Greg McCullough, head golf professional at Edgewood and El Zago. Boys, how you doing this morning? Different time slot. We're moving up.
We are at the Shack at 9 a.m.
What does the Shack stand for?
That would be the Sanford Health Athletic Complex.
Whoa, wow. Very good. Acronyms early in the morning.
I paid attention to the outside of the building.
So we kind of got a special show for you. So we're going to kind of run through some of the stuff that's happening at our facilities, and then we get some special guests today. So hopefully, if you guys are tuning in on YouTube, Facebook, fire away some live comments. We'd love to field those and talk about everything Fargo golf and eventually now NDSU golf. So this is going to be a pretty fun show. This is a pretty cool facility, so can't wait to dive in here. All right. So what's happening at our facilities, boys? You got anything happening?
Go.
First.
You know what? We've got an open weekend once again, so we're kind of excited about that. It's a very busy weekend. Things haven't seemed to really slow down a whole lot. We're still clicking with our men's league. Our women's league just wrapped up last Tuesday night. We've got a corporate event next week. So we are still staying very, very busy.
So you put the wrap on ladies' night. Ladies' night's complete now.
It is. Okay. Next Tuesday, we actually have a corporate event, and days are getting so much shorter.
Yep.
This one's going to kind of go right into as far as our evening hours, and so therefore we just kind of put a wrap as far as on the women, and men we'll continue to roll as far as depending on how the weather goes. But yeah.
Yep, and the season stuff. How about you? What do you got going on?
We got Edgewood Men's Club 3-man scramble on Sunday, 9 o'clock shotgun. Superintendent's favorite. Jason loves me right now. We're full. We have 36 teams, 108 players.
36 teams of 3.
Correct. Yep. Should be a good time.
Oh my.
Monday we have Labby's event on Monday. Men's nights, like Cookie said, in league. Tuesday still can stay the same on Tuesday. Still men's league. We'll run that through the end of the year. Ladies morning league keeps going through the end of the year, and I think last night kind of was our last evening ladies group. And then next weekend we have our Edgewood Men's Club 4-man spring scramble that we had to reschedule to put it not in the spring because of the weather. So
nice.
We're still busy. We hope the weather continues to kind of keep going for us, and the days are getting shorter. But we're excited. You know, the Zags open every day. So
that's awesome. So 3-man scramble.
3-man scramble.
That sounds fun.
Handicap requirements. So you got one guy under 10. Total has to be 35 or more. Yep. Filled up fairly quickly.
So yeah, I mean the season's not going away.
Nope.
Man. So that's really good to see. People are playing in the events, and over at Osgood, we actually coming up here September 20th. Highlight, we got a hole-in-one show qualifier. So if you're interested in qualifying, you certainly can register online, or you can actually come out to Osgood and check out hole A. And from 4:30 to 6:30, September 20th, we're going to be doing the hole-in-one show qualifier, and there's going to be a nice little highlight for 9-hole facilities. And I told Dave Schultz, we're not a 9-hole facility. We're 12 holes, right? We're much more than 9 holes. So, but if you want to go ahead and qualify for that, that's September 20th. And then as far as leagues are concerned, we're still rip-roaring with leagues. We got the Senior Men's Day League. Man, that is still like trucking away with like close to 100 golfers every Tuesday morning. It is just crazy. And then Wednesday, we've got Men's League. Thursday, Men's League again. And the way that we're kind of handling the daylight situation, especially coming from a 9-hole facility, is that now the games are only contested over 6 holes. So if those teams want to come out and play hole ABC and get a little primer before their tee time starts at, like, say, 6 o'clock, they can still do that. And then everyone though is contesting over 6 holes. That was kind of our creative solution to deal with daylight. We are going to be continuing men's league all the way through September. And then once September is over, then we're going to put a cap on both ladies and men's. And then we start construction. We've got the sloughing project happening. So Osgood, we're going to have to do a little bit of manipulating to maintain those. It's nice because we're 12 holes. It's nice to be able to close down 3 holes at a time. So for those of you that don't know, some of the grading that's happening out at Osgood September 28th, we're going to be regrading some of those areas so that way we don't have so much sloughing and it doesn't put a strain on our irrigation through the coming years. So we're going to be closing down holes 4, 5, and 6 starting September 28th and going to 9 holes. And that's what's happening at Fargo Golf. So if you haven't done so already, click on to YouTube and subscribe to the Muni Misfits. Also, fargogolf.net. We are still selling fall passes. So there's still some slamming deals that you can get. If you want to play some fall golf, it's the best time of year to play. Check us out at fargogolf.net or Muni Misfits in the morning on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify. We on anything else, ladies?
I think we're going to flip the cameras around.
Pretty
They're
soon.
not going to really know about it because the facial expressions that are going on
I
behind
know.
the cameras right
I
now
never know
are
what's
spectacular. They're spectacular. You may not know this because you're new to our system.
Yes.
October 1st, starting October 1st, your season pass at any of the Fargo Parks courses are good everywhere.
About
If you
that.
only have a single course pass, starting October 1, you have a 5-for-1 pass. So it's another little exciting thing that we try to do because as we get good going through October, the 9-hole courses will start to close a little bit. Matt Cook said he's going to stay open until Christmas, so we'll always have a place open. He didn't know about that, but he missed our production meeting this morning, so that's his fault.
Nice. That'll be very beneficial though. It's your project, as far as going on, and if that ends up being a little bit of a cluster over there, some disturbances, they can always go to another golf course.
Have you guys done any round counting yet? Have you guys done any reporting on round counts, like
Counting of rounds?
Counting of rounds? Have you guys done any of that yet? Just to kind of peek and see what the total rounds are?
Yeah, I've got a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
We're honestly, if it wasn't for the late start, we would be right on par with 2021, which I didn't think would be possible.
Right.
Just because in 2020, as we've probably talked about before, COVID changed a lot of things. 2020, once we kind of got that momentum, it was extremely busy. I thought we were busy before, but then things got really kind of busy. And then 21 hit, and it was like, oh my goodness. It honestly feels like every day is a Saturday.
Yeah, there's a new standard, I think, in what to expect as far as the tee sheet. So, man, I took a peek at and now we deal with the 3-hole loop. So we've got 3-hole loop rounds and we've got 9-hole rounds. So trying to factor in, what is a lot of rounds, but when we start doing that and you start creeping in up over 30,000 between, those 2 starts, that's a busy season. And like you said, with a late start to still be hitting those numbers, and we haven't had any rain out. I mean, we've had 2 or 3 days that are maybe considered rainouts. So as far as this season, we have been absolutely blessed.
It is amazing, and we appreciate everybody's support of Fargo Golf.
Yeah.
It is amazing when you start to look at numbers and we get to see those numbers. And I think we all have a pretty good idea where we are when it's all said and done. When you start thinking around 140, 150,000 rounds of golf, over 2 million range balls hit, all those numbers, you start thinking about, it's like, holy cow, we did this year in 5.5 months.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody. Keep up the great work. Don't let us get in your way. You just keep right on going.
So let's talk about where we're at.
Where we're at.
We're at a new spot,
We're at
right?
a new spot.
So this is pretty incredible walking into the shack and first just seeing the production, right? I have never actually seen a basketball game downstairs, but walking in, just like it's hard not to get kind of caught up in this place. This is a lot of green and gold. It's pretty sweet. So we're at the short game facility right now for NDSU women and men's golf, and it's pretty incredible. Are we going to bring in some
Yeah, I think
special guests?
I love the fact that it's been super noisy in that corner back there with everybody, and now it's just like dead quiet.
Should we bring in Coach first?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So, how you doing today?
Excellent.
Surprise!
Which side would you like to sit?
Hey, Matt, thanks for having us today.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna take. We'll take this side right over here.
Okay, so we got
Feel free to lay down, lounge around, whatever you like to do there.
we got head coach Matt Johnson, the women's golf team at NDSU. So welcome. Thanks for being on the Misfits this morning.
Well, it's great to have you guys, and we appreciate you coming up here. It's
Well,
fun
thanks
to
for
have
doing all your setup work, because we made you do a whole bunch of things that you probably didn't want to do this morning.
just a normal morning for a golf coach
There you
here on
go.
Golf Pro.
Excellent.
Matt, how many years have you been now the coach at NDSU?
This is my 14th year. Long enough that whenever I do meetings or team makers events, they never get it right. But this is my 14th year as women's coach.
So you came on, I suppose, during the Division II.
It was after that.
It was, okay.
The transition started in 2004,
Okay.
and I started in 2009. But I did show up the same year as Amy Anderson Olsen, so that was pretty good timing.
That's not bad. You've had some fabulous players. What's kind of like the changes you've probably seen, some of the biggest changes over that period of time that you've been coaching here as far as for NDSU women's golf?
Well, our sport in general, women's golf, college women's golf, keeps getting better and better. The scores keep going down. You know, the scores that we were shooting when Amy was playing, for example, when we won a conference championship, those scores just, they wouldn't get anything done today. There's more good players. There's a wider area that good players are coming from. They recruit the whole world these days at Division I. So you have to try to stay ahead of that, and you have to be improving. So I've had former players say, geez, if I was there now, I wouldn't even make the team. It's kind of funny. But they also have to remember that when they were here, they were doing an excellent job for us. A big part of what works for us and what helps us is our facilities. This facility here has been amazing for them to be able to come in here and work on short game. We also have a TrackMan simulator. This is used constantly in the winter months. It's pretty quiet here in September when we're able to be outside. They've been great to us with facilities. We'll also have access to the new football facility. They're going to net that, so we'll be able to hit balls in there. We'll move from the old bubble, which is now gone, into that building. So our on-campus facilities are good. We get great support from the golf courses off-campus also, which is nothing we take for granted by any means. And we're also given a good budget to travel. One of the things we do offer our players is, hey, we get to go to some great locations. We travel well. We're not just a team that's going to hop in a van and travel regionally like a lot of the southern teams do. You know, we are able to travel to some nice locations, and that is one of the strong points of what we offer.
Right. Yeah, a facility like this is almost a must nowadays as far as being the northern area to recruit, you know, whether it's men or women. And this is fabulous. I mean, you've got a huge short game area in here, and like you said, an opportunity as far as to work in the full swing. And I can't wait to see the new football facility that you'll have as well. I had an opportunity to be in the temporary dome, and I thought that was amazing. I mean, because you had an opportunity there to hit golf balls, and would you probably have 75 yards or better that you probably had that, and probably could almost hit some full short irons in there?
Yeah, we were able to hit the ball, fly 100 yards in that bubble. It did work great for us. You didn't have to worry about wrecking anything. The only thing that you could hit was potentially porta potty over in the it was a perfect position for a shank. So we had a little game related to that. You did not want to be the one to hit those. But the issue with that was just in our winters, you never knew what the weather was going to be in there, even though it was indoors. So every morning it was, hey, it's 60 degrees, life's good. And then 2 days later, it might be 41 degrees in there at practice time. So that was okay from the standpoint of sometimes that's what it's like when you're warming up on the range at 7 a.m. But it'll be nice to get into a facility where we know what the temperature is going to be and the weather's going to be ideal, and they're going to, you know, go through the effort and spend the money to make it so that we can use it and the other hitting sports can use it also, because we don't want to break anything in that building either.
So I saw a picture of you and the team when you were just in Utah. And what people don't really understand, I don't think, is you play 36 holes the first day. Is that correct? And you play 18 to 70. That's kind of a normal deal.
Yes.
So I saw pictures, and we could shut the lights out in here and turn on our phones. And that's kind of how you hit balls before your first shot can start. Is that right?
Yes. The schedule can get crazy. In Utah, for example, they had a small range at this golf course, so they had to split us up into 2 shifts. We got the early shift, 6:30 a.m. They were using their cell phone lights so they could see the golf ball. We were out there super early. We teed off at 8 o'clock. The course played very difficult. The greens were exceptionally severe. Play was very slow. We played from sunrise till sunset. And then we had a 20-minute drive for dinner and then another 10-minute drive back to the hotel. So by the time we finished our meeting for the evening and I sent them off to their rooms, it was 9 p.m. And they moved up the start the second day because of some impending storms coming in to 7 a.m. So they sent us to another lighted driving range so that we could warm up.
Wow.
So we left the hotel. They sent them to the rooms at 9 p.m. after 36 holes. We were down for breakfast at 5 a.m. Loaded up the van, warmed up, played 18 holes, drove to the airport, flew home, got back at midnight. So it is a little bit busy.
Yeah. That's an incredible schedule.
That's a little exceptional.
Yeah.
But on a 36-18 format, the first day is usually you travel in, you have a practice round, 36 holes, 18 holes. If we're able, we'll fly home or drive home. Sometimes we can't catch a flight because it's too late. We wait till the next morning. But on an 36-18 format, the downtime is almost non-existent for them. They're going all the time.
So now talking about the schedule, I mean, what do you got left on the fall schedule? What's going on?
We will go to Brookings, South Dakota this weekend. Play with some Midwest teams out there. It should be fun. They have a really good golf course down in Brookings, and we're looking forward to that one. We played there last year, and it went quite well, and we enjoyed it. And then we get a couple-week break. It'll be our first break since we started. And then our next event's at Tacoma Country Club out in Washington State, which is a fantastic facility. The girls, the ladies love going there. That's a good tournament with a good field, so we look forward to that every year. We'll pull out our cold weather gear a little bit for the mornings there. Hopefully, we've played there 5 years. It's never rained. Keep your fingers crossed. It's kind
I'm going to go with you so you do get some.
Yeah. It's kind of right as it's transitioning out there into their fall season. And then this fall, we actually end our season in Hawaii. It's a trip we try to do every 4 years. So
Muni Misfits on the road?
Yeah.
What's
our budget like?
I have a waiting list
Is our budget
for
okay for that?
assistant coaching requests for that event. So if several people have asked, including our football coach. He thinks he can skip the game that week and come along.
Well, he's in Arizona this week.
Yeah.
So.
What is the date on that?
October 21 to 24.
I'll get back to you.
Matt, with the schedule, I imagine, you've had some, obviously you mentioned Amy Olson. You've had, I just saw your all-conference ball. You've had some amazing players over there, Natalie Roth. But you've also had some really, really good teams. Has that been, as you guys continue to kind of become stronger and stronger, has that helped as far as the scheduling as well? Are you starting to see some better tournaments and some more opportunities for you guys open on up?
Yes, definitely. Men's and women's golf, it's both the same. You kind of have to earn your way into the better tournaments. We basically play women's golf's a little different in that because of some rules they set in place, that the top tier teams, those top 40 Power 5 teams tend to only play against each other and they kind of push everyone else out. The men's golf have a couple of rules that kind of make that a little more friendly to the other teams. But we have a schedule that's mostly top tier, kind of mid-major competition. We've kind of earned our way into some, and that's been good for us because you don't want to go to a tournament where if you play just okay, you might win. That's not going to push you to get better. You want to go somewhere where to win, you're going to have to play very well, and even if you play very well, you very well might not win. You might still finish 4th or 8th or 10th. So pushing them to improve that way, and not just putting together a very simple schedule where you kind of make it seem a little soft. We like to challenge them.
That's got to be really helpful as far as on your recruiting end as well. I imagine as far as, to be able to tell the girls, listen, this is some of the places we may be going to, in even the off season, because you guys start up your season once again, what, in February?
Yeah,
as far as
we
competition?
start traveling in mid-February, so
Yeah.
the indoor facilities are essential, and
It's
that's when it's really fun, when you go put in all that work around here for a month in the winter, and then you finally get to get on an airplane and fly somewhere where the grass is actively growing. It's very nice.
It's like a bunch of mini spring break trips for the girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Should we bring the team?
Yeah, let's bring them in.
Yeah.
Come on in, ladies.
There's just room for them. Do you want me to skip over here?
So we can probably get
Maybe kinda
three over
cozy.
here.
Who's
One
the
over
short
there.
seat? Who's the ball? Leah volunteers. Way to go, Leah.
Okay, what's this shot look like now? I mean, we're
Elise is the only one. Elise has a 10 o'clock class. We should probably have.
what time is it?
It's
Oh,
in
we're late today. That's right.
Yeah.
Like 10 o'clock. How long have we been doing this thing?
You know,
She'll be around for a while.
Okay.
Matt, what is it kind of, obviously, as far as you're looking at recruiting a certain woman for your program, score is going to be important. They got to be able to play. But what else, as far as you kind of look at, as far as bringing an athlete to NDSU?
Well, a lot more than score, actually. We like to bring in a
Telling
certain.
me there's a chance.
Yeah.
No, Matt.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
the score is the starting point, right?
Okay.
Super senior does not mean.
Live TV here.
Yes. That is definitely
Is that
pretty
Josh
important.
Wilson's update?
Could be.
I would check lately. We want the right type of people. We've been really fortunate through the years that I've coached, and I think well before that too, that we bring in the right kind of people that that the attitude, not only on the golf course but off the golf course, people that are going to come in and be good teammates and push their teammates and be respected by their teammates. And the academic side is, I would say, I recruit that, but that's really taken care of itself. That's not a concern. It's really just the person and the family. To a large extent, we get a lot of family support, and I think that plays into our success a lot of the times. The effort that the parents go through to travel to events all over the country, I think, is pretty important. We have players from our area. And the men's team's the same way. We're a lot of Minnesota, a lot of Wisconsin, and we will mix in some other areas once in a while. Leah's grew up and spent most of her younger years in Arizona, but she's got ties to Minnesota and ties to NDSU. So there's always that type of connection, but it goes a lot farther than just the scores. Yeah.
So, ladies, why don't you introduce yourselves? We'll kind of go this way. Name, where you're from, maybe your major, and what do you like about NDSU?
My name is Leah Scar. I'm from Gold Canyon, Arizona, and I'm a junior. So my major is sports management and then a minor in business admin. And I think I just love the culture here and the coaches, all the staff, and our team is just, I think we just have a connection that's different than most. So I love it here.
Super.
I'm Maddie Herzog. I'm a super senior. And then I'm from Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. I graduated in May with a degree in business administration, and I'm working towards getting my management degree right now. And my favorite part about I love the people. The community has been awesome, super supportive and everything, and just like everyone in the athletics department is awesome.
I'm Catherine Monty. I'm from Stillwater, Minnesota. I'm also a junior. I'm majoring in political science and I'm minoring in Mandarin Chinese. And what I like about NDSU is everywhere we go, there's always people that know the school and know who we are. And in the airports in other states, we always get roll herd. So that's really fun to see.
I'm Elise Hoven. I'm from Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and I'm a sophomore. My major is psychology, and my favorite part about NDSU is probably the team and the places we go. I really like the location.
That's awesome.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, okay, I was going to say, so we asked that, when we had Josh Persons on, and we got to talk about Josh too, but when we had Josh Persons on, one of the questions that I thought was really intriguing was, what are you doing to, if you had a junior golfer, what are you telling that junior golfer in how to attain your goals to get to that, whether it be collegiate golfer, D1 golfer, beyond, what would you, that little tidbit of advice that you're saying, this is what you got to be doing? Is there anything you guys can think of that kind of sets you apart?
You gotta want it.
Yeah.
get
That's
out
the
and
biggest
play
thing.
and practice with a purpose.
Yeah.
And you have to trust the process and know it's not always going to be an uphill climb. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a roller coaster. It's not easy all the time, but
Yeah, I was gonna say never give up because
Yeah.
I feel like, especially through recruiting, it's kind of a lot of yeses, but also like a lot of no's too. Looking at schools and stuff.
What was probably the biggest challenge or the biggest surprise? I've read all your bios. You all were amazing as far as both team and individually as far as in high school. You know, you wouldn't be here if you weren't amazing. But what was the biggest hurdle? What was the biggest challenge? What was the biggest surprise you had moving from high school into college?
Well, the first thing that pops into my head is yardage. It's a lot different. We play like probably 52, 5,400 in high school, and then you get here and you play like 61, 62. So that's a really big difference. If you can't hit it very far, it's definitely more of a struggle than it was for you in high school.
I'd say for me it was like, I'm from Detroit Lakes. We had a lot of good golfers come through there, and I was my junior, senior year. I was always one or two, flip flopping between that, and then just getting to college, and everyone was the best on their team. So you're competing just to have a spot on the team, and like all the girls you play with from other teams too, like they're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna make the lineup. Any of us could go low any given day.
Yeah.
So
Tapering expectations. That's, I mean, and then the competitive, I mean, it's just next level now, right? So, were any of you guys surprised as far as when you got to Division I, what kind of competition was out there? Was that surprising to you, or was that something that you were kind of primed for already?
I think we all pretty much, I knew that the competition was going to be at the next level kind of thing.
Yeah.
Some of the golfers I play with still, like, I'm in shock with how good they are. And, you know, some people have bad days, and we all have bad days.
Does that
And that's just
motivate
kind
you
of
then?
how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who doesn't want to win?
Right. So I got to ask, where's the favorite place to travel then? So on the schedule, when you look at the travel schedule, now Hawaii probably, right? That's a layup. But when you guys are,
I bet it wasn't Brookings.
that was number one on my list.
Nothing against Brookings.
No.
Well, except everything is against Brookings.
no, what are those
That is-
events that you're circling on the calendar like, got to make the lineup for that one?
I would say Tacoma,
Yeah.
Washington. It's a very unique course, and it's not really anywhere that I've like been to, and it's a lot different than most courses that we've all played. So I think Seattle. I mean, we went to Seattle when we were there, so definitely I loved that one last year.
I would agree with that. Seattle's just so pretty. Like we walked around it the first day we got there, and I had never been there, so I really enjoyed it.
Did you go to the fish market?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
did.
did.
See the guys throw the fish?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we all have to do when we're in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
far anymore.
fun being a
Not
tourist,
far.
though, right?
Yeah.
So,
How about the variety of golf course changes? Obviously, when you're in high school, you kind of get the same kind of golf courses year after year after year. You come to college, all of a sudden, again, the level of play is higher. But now all of a sudden, you have Brookings, South Dakota, you have Washington, you have Utah, and you get one practice round. Is that kind of a hard? I'm looking at scores that first day, that first 18 holes, that first day seems to be a little bit of an adjustment, and the scores seem to get better from there. So, for the young ladies who are thinking about college golf, what kind of adjustment do you have to kind of make there? Go, okay, we're in Utah today. The greens are 20 and their slopes are 5%, and all of a sudden then you go to Brookings, well, it'll be the same, or you go to Washington, and that and the fact that the ball doesn't fly the same distances, I don't think, everywhere you go. So there's a little bit of a challenge there as well.
You have to know how to play in all types of conditions and all types of like grass, even like the difference between grass from the East Coast to West Coast is different. Like we'll go down to South Carolina, it'll be a little bit different from when we play in Utah.
I think just learning how to adapt and adjust is huge. You're gonna get bad lies, you're gonna get bad breaks, and just overcoming that is huge.
So are you guys changing out, like with different courses, are you changing out equipment at all? Like are you guys stock set? You got your set you're going with, but are you like changing anything when you go play Tacoma versus when you're going to play Brookings, anything like that? Are you looking at yardages or?
I think equipment changes are pretty rare. We have, on occasion, we've done we've relofted Catherine's fairway woods, but for courses where she's going to use them off the tee more as opposed to off the fairway. So once in a while there'll be little things like that, but most of the adjustments are not the equipment variety. They're kind of the mental adjustments or just preparing for, again, the condition of the turf, the speed of the greens, what the rough is like around. I mean, we play courses where the rough around the green is literally, there is no rough. It's like hard pan bare, and then you go somewhere where you've got 5 inches of dense green. So it's just, yes, there is a ton of needing to learn a lot of things very quickly in one practice round.
Sure. Coach Matt, do you have any time, like, as far as in your schedule throughout the year, that this is kind of downtime, where there is no kind of practices scheduled? Are you guys kind of going throughout the season nonstop as far as from time they enter school to time they leave school?
We are a unique sport in that we compete fall and spring. A lot of other teams compete. They have an off non-championship segment, like softball right now. They're playing games this fall, but they're non-county games.
Okay.
So both of our seasons count. They're official tournaments that go into the rankings. Our off time, I would say, is November and December. When we wrap up in late October, they'll do workouts, but we won't have any scheduled organized practices. We might do a few things here and there, but those are really the off months for them to take a little break, recharge a little bit, and then as soon as they get back from semester break in early January, we take off right away.
Very cool. You, some of you girls need to head on out because we certainly will miss that. I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
It's the only one. Elise is the only one. Elise has a class coming up soon. Got school, and then a lot of them are qualifying this afternoon, getting ready for our next event, trying to finish out the positions where this is a tournament where we're able to take everybody, which is kind of nice when it's a local one. So the whole roster will go. We're just trying to figure out everyone's positions. Obviously, everyone prefers to be in the lineup where you're a counter and your score can count to help his team, and everyone does what they can and grinds to make that happen. But if they don't, then they can still come along, be part of the experience, do themselves some good, and post some scores out there, and you're still a part of the tournament.
So Maddie, as you're going through freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, schooling is that school's number one, right? And as you're a sophomore or senior, do you find it becomes easier or more difficult as you get a little bit older?
Easier for sure. Yeah. Looking at our freshmen, like I played with both of our freshmen yesterday, and it was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing tonight?" And they were both like, "We're gonna go home and study and do homework." And my class load's very light, so I only have one in-person class and then I'm online. So it's gotten a lot.
But it's a big learning curve, I'm sure. You're a freshman, and all of a sudden, just like you just said, right? All of a sudden, this thing hits you in the forehead, right? I'm gone. Hopefully, I'm gone 3 days a week. I'm practicing, and then I got to try to get school in there as well.
Yeah, it was a bit stressful the first couple of weeks last year, but I feel like time management was a big thing I learned. So just like planning out my schedule for each week was a big thing. And then now I feel like I'm more on top of it than I was the first semester last year.
There are like a lot of good resources at NDSW that you can reach out and get help, and that the athletic advisors are really, really good. So,
always been a big fan of college athletics.
Yeah.
You have a built-in friend group. You have lots of people that are here to help you, both in the game and in the school. So college athletics, man, can't beat it.
Yeah.
We found out some dirt on Coach Kennedy when we had him on earlier. We found out that he would not be your best travel agent. So anyhow, do you have any good stuff on Matt and all these stories you can share as far as?
He likes Coach Malone.
Yeah.
No.
Taylor Swift too.
Well, when you
Taylor Swift too?
Yeah.
well, yeah, of course.
Who doesn't like Taylor Swift?
I like one thing is now that I've reached my 50s, they do help me stay kind of young. I don't know if I seem young, but I still feel like I'm kind of young, and I don't think I would have nearly as much of that if I didn't spend as much time around them. And I mean that in a good way. Like there are some ways I'm very happy to not be young anymore, but in many ways, it's very good to still feel that
Why
way.
you keep looking at me?
I don't know. Maybe I feel like we can relate with that.
Well, I'm much
a little
older
bit.
than you, so yes, every
Little.
time we get to do the Muni Misfits, I get to hang out with younger people.
So let's
Right.
spin this around, Matt.
But I also feel like we're all still pretty young.
So Matt, let's spin this around. Do you have any good stories on any of the girls?
Oh, well, I could tell stories forever. I don't know if I have any good stories, like in terms of something that would be a funny or a little.
Somebody like to get the
anecdotal.
clubs and go to the tournament, or
Nobody's ever done that. One year, this was before any of these players were here, but we played a tournament. I think we were in Tulsa, and we got back to the hotel and went in, probably after one of these really long days. And we came out the next morning to leave, and the van side door was wide open,
Oh,
and all the golf clubs were sitting in the van, because back in the time we used to leave the golf clubs in the van. So that was, again, a lot of learning experiences as a coach. One being put someone else also in charge of securing the van, but also from that day forward, we've never left the golf clubs in the van again.
Didn't Amy like lock the keys in the car?
Oh, Amy, yeah. Amy made several mistakes across the course of her career. So very few of them were on the golf course. Most of them were off. No, but yes, she once locked the van keys in the trailer and delayed our drive home several hours.
oh boy.
One of the only times I've seen her cry was that day. Yeah, that was a good one. But this group's been fun. They're fun to travel with. When they do have tournaments that have 18. So like Hawaii, for example, they do that. And that's very different because you're done every day by 1:30. You get a few hours. So those events, we usually play 2 or 3 a year. They're a little different because we actually get a chance to go out and do some fun things, experience the location we're at, go on a hike to a beach, whatever it might be. We don't get to do that at every tournament. So those are the tournaments I think we all kind of enjoy in a different way because we can go out and do something together that isn't just out there putting it all into the golf.
I gotta imagine the Hawaii tournament is like a lot of coaches are trying to get into that event. I mean, that's got to be it, don't you? I mean, getting into that's got to be a big deal.
Well, it is, yes. The fall tournament's one that fits as well. It's more kind of their mid-major tournaments, so to call it. They host some spring tournaments that are definitely very hard to get in. So this one is good. We haven't been there because of COVID. We missed a trip, so it's been 6 years since we've done a special trip like this.
Matt, how does it work again as far as then moving into the fall and then next spring, getting into, I guess I'd call it postseason, basically, as far as imagine you have a conference tournament, do you?
Yes.
And then also as far as how is it that you can qualify as far as for national tournament?
We have 5 tournaments this fall and 5 tournaments in the spring, regular season events. So I think 28 total rounds. All of those go into the ranking system. Then we play the conference championship in late April. So there's 2 ways to get into the NCAA tournament. One is to win your conference championship, both as a team or an individual. If you do that, you're automatically in. The other way is to get an at-large bid, which usually requires a ranking in the top 60. So you have to be ranked usually 55 to 60. That is a very difficult ranking to attain. So our best bet in most cases is to win the conference championship. So, and it's not easy. There's good teams in our conference every year, and we have managed to do it a couple times. The last time we did it was 5 years ago, so it was a 5-year gap. So this is the year that, by the numbers.
No pressure, ladies.
Yeah. So it's just, you have to go out, you have to be peaking at the right time, like is everyone's goal to kind of get your game kind of geared for the right time. And then you have to go in as a team and as a group that feels confident and believes that you can do it. And I think I know this group has the skill and the talent to do it. So the goal is going to be, if I can convince them and get them to believe that they can do it, I think they could.
Excellent.
Yep. Sounds good. So at this time, you've got production staff's laughing right behind it. So I want to first of all say thank you for taking the time. This facility and hosting us here, this is so cool, and it's kind of like I get to be like a kid in a candy store, right? I mean, because you got TrackMan set up back there, you got short game. We were kind of throwing some balls here on the putting green and seeing it like break. Like there's some big breaks in here.
More than it looks like. Yeah.
So after we get done here, I'm gonna have to probably hit some shots and test it out. But thank you so much for hosting us here. This is just so fun, and thanks for taking your time out of the schedule. Student athletes, you guys are great. So if you haven't done so already, please tune in to Muni Misfits in the morning. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, also FargoGolf.net, and get all the really fun material you get.
Are we cutting this off now?
Well, I thought that's what I thought that was
No, I'm just asking a question because I want to know when I can jump in with all my stuff.
Now.
So Amy Olson, 2 under yesterday, tied for 25th. She's only got about 2 or 3 events left. You don't have to get in the top 100. So Amy, good luck today. Tom Hoagie, first start of the next season. He shot 3 under par, 25th. Tom, have a great week this week. Josh Persons,
yes,
Twitter,
let's go.
Semifinals of the Mid-Am in Wisconsin, and they're even through 6. So Josh, and if you want to follow play-by-play, Nick Lackaduck, at Nick Lackaduck is doing kind of play-by-plays there. So
Doing great.
Yeah. It was like yesterday was awful. Nobody got anything done. We're all refreshing our screens all the time. So good luck to Josh and to Brady Opheim. I think his caddying for him. I know that was a long day for Brady yesterday. And Nick as well. We hope his camera phone. He writes they play 18 this morning. If he wins, he gets the first 18 of the final match today too. So it's another long day in Wisconsin because they had a rain today. So good luck to all those players.
For sure.
That's really cool to see too. And by the way, Aaron Hills, where they're playing, everyone bombs it, right? Everyone bombs it. Now you guys bomb it, right? But that kind of golf course, I think, fits into Josh's game, So I'm super excited to see what happens.
They're playing the Wii Links out there. They're playing at 7,300.
I played it from what, 8,300?
8,300.
That's
Of course you did.
Yeah, right.
Driver,
Yeah.
3-wood,
I
wet.
had Chris Coach with me. So there's no other way.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, do we have any other?
Well, I think when
There
we're
it is.
leaving right now, I think we got to go out. All of us. I go and go Bison.
Oh.
So how about on 3, Greg?
Production staff, go ahead. Just move the camera down.
Come on, Greg. Let's see it.
Here.
You guys can do
Woo!
Why is it on 3?
Guys, on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bison! That just made the Sioux guy really
Burning up over there. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Beauty Misfits in the morning. My name is Chris Larson. I got Matt Cook. I got Greg McCullough. We got Matt Johnson, the ladies golf team. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week. All right.